Hey y'all, this week's episode of Rooted in Wholeness, we're going to talk about prediabetes and diabetes, which is also insulin resistance. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about how to manage it. This week is a little bit near and dear to me because a few people in my family have issues with blood sugar. Recently, I think about 2 years ago, I found out that my dad has diabetes. So it's one of those things that I want to prevent myself because it is something that has shown up in my bloodline. Also, my husband has diabetes and both of his parents has diabetes. And then I found out my sister, she's pre-diabetic. So we're going to hop into it. So about pre-diabetes and diabetes, I want you guys to know that it is not a death sentence. I repeat, it is not a death sentence. You can manage it. And if you're pre-diabetic or have pre-diabetes type 2, you can reverse it. So we're going to talk about two different types of diabetes. As we go along, we're just going to talk about how to manage it. And in managing it, if you're type 2, it's going to reverse and it's going to disappear, right? Or so we like to think, right? Oh, this is not medical advice. I'm not trying to treat you, trying to give you cures or any of that. As a holistic nutritionist, I just give you information, educational information. So, for type 1 diabetes, it's an autoimmune disease that can be managed but not reversed. The thing is, your body has issue with creating glucose, right? But then type 2, it's insulin resistance and it's an anti-inflammatory disease, right? That one can be reversed. The thing about that one is your body does make glucose, but the issue is your body cannot absorb it. So when you're given all these pharmaceuticals that were meant to create blood glucose and to create glucose in your body, insulin in your body, it's just flooding your body out, and you're just getting all this insulin pumped into your body, and then it has nowhere to go. So then it starts causing issue with your heart and your liver and your pancreas and all these other things, right? So then we have pre-diabetes. When you're pre-diabetic, they diagnose you based on your A1C because it'll be high, but then your glucose levels may or may not be high. With pre-diabetes, you still have time to manage it and then never get to the point of being diabetic, right? The thing is, with diabetes, it takes about 10 years for it to show up. So based on what you do within them 10 years is what's going to determine whether you become diabetic or not. So the best thing to do is to do what you can now to prevent becoming diabetic. Let's talk about managing and reversing. Again, it can be managed, and one way it can be managed is by your lifestyle, such as exercises, regulating stress, and having a healthy sleep schedule. Another way is through nutrition, which is where, I can help with regulating stress and, exercise and sleep. Because my whole thing is conquering the whole version, not just picking and choosing. I even touch on the spiritual side. So with nutrition, what you eat matters. Again, what you eat matters. Eating foods and herbs high in antioxidants can help you in managing your blood sugar. There are a few things that you should avoid. For one, it's sugar, as you know, and that's even being careful with fruits, because fruit still has sugar, and eating too many fruits can still spike your blood sugar, right? Avoiding processed foods. Processed foods are trash, whatever. Another thing is avoiding inflammatory foods. So that's foods such as gluten and stuff that has dairy, because all of them can contribute to the inflammation in your body. Let's talk about the nutrient deficiencies in blood sugar management and insulin resistance. The first one is omega-3s. And a few foods that you can eat that'll help give you these nutrients is flax seeds, chia seeds, hemp seeds, walnuts, and cold water fish. Another one is magnesium. So you want to eat stuff like dark leafy greens like spinach, Swiss chard, beet greens, turnip greens, collard greens, mustard greens, and kale. Um, and if you have high blood pressure, you want to be careful with the salt intake. Another nutrient deficiency that you may have is chromium. So, one thing that you can take is Brazil nuts, right? And you only have to take 2 of them per day. Eat 2 of them per day. Other things you can eat is broccoli, green beans, whole grains such as buckwheat, barley, and oats. And another thing that you may be deficient is vitamin D3. Now, most of us, as we get older, we become deficient in vitamin D. So my recommendation would be to spend at least 15 minutes per day out in the sun so that you can soak up all the sun rays, right? Also, things that you can eat is fatty fish such as salmon, mackerel, sardines, tuna, and herring. And one thing that you could take daily is cod liver oil. Another one is krill oil if you don't have issues with shellfish. The best thing that you can do for vitamin D is supplementation, because a lot of us, our vitamin D levels are so low that it has to be supplemented. Let me give you a word of warning. Please do not start supplementing yourself, because unless you are versed in supplementation, you do not want to just be taking all these supplements and doing all the things and taking all the things, because you're just doing exactly what the doctors are doing for a lot of us, which is just giving us things because we were told that it works. All right, so we're going to go to pharmaceuticals and environmental chemicals. Pharmaceuticals such as SSRIs can cause insulin resistance. That's like the stuff for depression and anxieties and stuff like that. Another thing is environmental chemicals have been linked to insulin resistance. So you want to avoid harsh cleansing products and you want to avoid herbicides. Let's jump into the herbs, which is one of my favorite ones, right? So herbs are not a one size fits all. Please remember this. Every herb will not work the same for everyone. It will work differently for everyone, because the herbs that you choose should be based on your body's makeup, your constitution. But when you choose your herbs for blood sugar management, you want the herbs that are high in antioxidants to combat the systemic inflammation. So there might be turmeric, oregano, cacao, paprika, parsley, berries, and goji berries. Another thing that I recommend is medicinal mushrooms such as reishi. Now that one will definitely drop your blood sugar levels. Another is shiitake mushrooms. Any of these herbs that you take, you want to be careful not to take them in conjunction with your blood sugar medicine. You want to take it hours after you take the medicine, because if you take both, your blood sugar will definitely drop too low, and then that becomes another issue. I'll give you a list of common herbs that you can use, such as cinnamon, and you do about 3 to 6 grams of that every day. But for some, it can be too warming, because some of us, we have our body makeup might be warm and then others might be cold. So you don't want to have a person who is used to being warm, super warm. You don't want to give them anything that's going to cause them to be more warm. It's going to irritate, it's going to cause all these issues that we want to avoid. Another one is bitter melon. And this is for the folks in the South. You want to buy it fresh, and you want to juice it, and you want to eat it. Another one that people normally take is fenugreek. The issue is that you have to take this in large amounts, which is like an ounce per day. And if you've seen it before, you can see how small it is. So yeah. But you can buy it powdered and you can use it in cooking. You can sprinkle it on your, shakes or your food or whatever. And the last one I'm going to talk about is cayenne. This one increases the pain from neuropathy. If you don't know what neuropathy is, it's like pain. Like sometimes it'll be in your feet and it's like you're feeling like this stabbing pain constantly that won't go away. With the cayenne, you can take it internally and you can find herbalists like myself that can make an external one. Like we can make a salve or like an oil or something. Um, Sometimes, like magnesium, it's better to take it externally. Like for me, when I talk about magnesium, I like to do the magnesium spray. I spray my feet, my legs, my arms, my chest, and every once in a while I do it before I go to sleep. And that's how I get my magnesium. Now, we're going to talk about something that is super duper 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 important, and that's the importance of playing a part in your health. An example of that is my husband. I gave him a protocol. I made him a protocol based on nutrition, lifestyle, herbs, and supplementations. He took it to his doctor, and he just got a new doctor. He took it to his doctor, and this doctor decided to take him off of metformin and other meds that he was prescribed from other doctors. That's one thing that you want to be careful with, because sometimes doctors don't look what the other doctor prescribed to you, and they'll prescribe something on top of that, and it might cause little issues. Like what we call it is contraindications. So they might not mesh well together. But this doctor decided to take him off these meds, and they let him have a say in his health. He brought them information, told them, that I'm a holistic nutrition and I have a protocol for him. And she told him, okay, what we can do is you still take the Lantus, which is the shots. I believe that's what it's called. You still take the shots in conjunction with doing what your wife gave you to do. And once your blood sugar gets regulated, once you start doing the lifestyle, decisions, then that's what will take you off. But I don't want you to come off prematurely and, your levels don't get regulated. I would like to say that though he may not have listened to the whole protocol, he does have a friend who also have issues with blood sugar management, and he recommended, these little packets of the things that you put in the water, and they have no sugar in them. Now, you want to be careful when you get these little water packets like Crystal Light and all of that, because if it has aspartame in it, it's a cancer-causing agent. You want to get the ones with stevia, right? And it works. It helps. Another thing is your doctor works for you. You need to take an active role in your health, and that's reading the handouts when they try to prescribe you something, or reading the handouts when they try to tell you that you need to get this surgery and that surgery. I'm not telling you to be disobedient to what the doctor is telling you, but I'm telling you that you need to be informed of what you're doing, because though some want to help, there are some that do not want to help either. Both sometimes recommend something that may not be in your best interest, and it's based on what they were taught. There's nothing against them, that's just what they were taught. But anyways, when you read these handouts, you want to read about the side effects, right? Because different pharmaceuticals cause different side effects. And then you'll go back because you have these side effects, and they'll try to treat those side effects with other pharmaceuticals that cause other problems, and it's so on and so on and so on. Remember that it is your choice on whether you want to take these things. A lot of the times you may need to take these things. I understand that we want to do things holistically. I understand that we don't want to take drugs and all these things, but sometimes you have to. And you can't just stop taking it. You have to regulate your body, right? You slowly stop taking it, but you need to talk to your doctor about it. Let them give you a plan on how this can be done. Again, do your own research. And when you have the research that you have come across, and it's research that is truthful, it's not some random just saying stuff, right? It's truthful research, and you bring it to your doctor. You bring your doctor these case studies that you found that have controlled studies. They're controlled studies. Make sure you see that word in those studies. When you bring this information to your doctor, let them know, I found this information. I think we should look at it. I think that we should think about what it is that we should be doing as far as my treatment plan is concerned. Now, when you go to nutritionists or dietitians or any of the sort, and you take everything, because you always want to do this, you take it back to your doctor. Keep in mind that not all doctors are versed in nutrition or supplementation. So even sometimes they might give you a supplement that you may not even need, and you could just get the nutrient from it, right? Sometimes they make money off of these things that they prescribe to you. I have given you this information. Do with it what you will. Now, I have a few resources. One book that I tend to recommend for insulin resistance and diabetes is The Blood Sugar Solution. The author also has a cookbook. I'm going to have that link below so that you can get that information. Another thing that you can do is either work with me or work with a dietitian or work with someone who is versed in functional medicine. What you get out of working with me is I'm a holistic nutritionist, I'm a clinical herbalist, and I'm a holistic health coach. Not only that, I call myself the soul care coach. So spiritually, I can help you as well. Lifestyle, I can help you with that because I also have a certification in life coaching. I do all the things. But I believe in healthcare for all. So even if you can't necessarily afford my services or afford a functional medicine doctor or afford these things, I can give you the resources to this, which is part of what this video is, give you free information so that you can take it, do your own research, and do what you will. But I will let you know that I do have two things coming down the pipeline. The first one is a Blood Sugar 101 workshop, and I'll probably do that in August. It'll be free. I'm still debating on how long it should be or whatever, but go ahead and subscribe to the newsletter. Go ahead and subscribe to this channel. Follow me on all social media platforms, Soul Care Squad, and stay in contact. Reach out if you want to. If you're interested in booking with me, go ahead and click the link in the bio. You'll see either work with me or you'll see a link for a form to go ahead and sign up for a free soul care starter session, and we can talk. Another thing is a blood sugar management book that I will be releasing probably by September. Like I said, healthcare for all, so it's not going to be $1 billion. It's going to be affordable. But yeah, this has been Rooted in Wholeness. I hope that I said something that helps you. I hope that you're able to take something out of it. And if it's anything that you take out of this video, is I want you to be an active participant in your health. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.